Bipolar speakers versus conventional speakers. All right, this is in the form of a question, and it comes from Daryl in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. Come on. Hey, Paul, just wanted to know your thoughts on speakers that also radiate sound backwards. I know a lot of purists won't go bipolar. Do you think it helps or hurts the soundstage and the depth of music if they have sound coming out the back? Thanks for all you do for us music lovers, Daryl. Okay, so there is a little bit of a misconception here, or a miscommunication, if you will. Bipolar definitely means sound coming out of the front and the back. So there's dipolar and bipolar. So Daryl's absolutely right. But there are very few bipolar speakers, and what bipoles do is they have the sound coming out the front and the back in phase. So it's kind of like this. It's pushing, the front pushes out while the back pushes out. And that's a bipole. And there are very few speakers that actually do that. Speaking of Canada, one of the better brands years ago used to be Mirage. And Mirage was a bipole. And it had drivers front and back. And those drivers were in phase, meaning that as the front one pushed sound out, the back one did the same. Now this speaker, the Infinity IRS-5, is a more common approach, and it is called a dipole. So dipoles have sound coming out of the front and the back, except it's out of phase. So as the front of the speaker pushes, the rear of the speaker pulls. So it's this seesaw effect, right? You get seesaw in and out, where a bipolar is like this, both pushing out. So there's quite a difference there. Each has their benefits and each has their downsides. Since there are so few bipole speakers, excuse me, I'm going to stick with dipoles because I think dipoles have more advantages than disadvantages, and I am a fan of dipoles. In fact, when we make our new speakers, they won't be dipoles, but the top end will be dipolar. We'll have a rear-mounted tweeter that's out of phase and a front-mounted tweeter that is in phase. And that just adds an airiness, a openness that really helps out on the top end, and it helps fill the room. And I have always liked that much better than a mono tweeter, if you will. Now this is full range. This goes down to 100 hertz, and as such, it does provide some benefits in terms of depth and soundstage, but it also provides some problems. A dipole speaker has to be pulled away from the wall, because if you get it too close to the wall, you're going to get all kinds of problems. So, and same with a bipole, but again, we're going to just talk about dipoles. So they have to be out into the room, and that's a problem for a lot of people. Now this is the PS Audio man cave, if you will. We don't require things to look like a living room. This is a dedicated listening room, and so we can have it out from the wall, and that's okay. But in a lot of homes, you just simply can't. So that's one of the downsides of a dipole. But to the extent that you can have it out from the front wall, and you have the front wall handled. Now, I like diffusion on the front wall so that when it hits, you don't get a direct shot back at your head out of time. So we use diffusers on the back, and all that said, yes, absolutely. It definitely helps with spaciousness and with air and sound staging. Absolutely. Can you get all of that without having a dipole? Yes. Yes, you can. And it's just not as easy. So I think that having some form of dipole is important. And so when we produce our speakers will all have dipole top end for that very reason. So hope that cleared it up. Thanks for the question, Daryl, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.